Hello there. Today I wanted to teach you about how to lead a woman with a kingly, divine, masculine energy without being an asshole who seems controlling and possessive and tyrannical and also seems like he does not understand how to actually read the emotional cues of a woman or another person. So you got to realize that there's levels to leadership. Okay, whenever you don't lead anyone, and you feel like you can't lead anyone, and you're super insecure, well, then what happens is you start realizing that you need to learn how to be aggressive and set boundaries with like a certain aggression, so you can integrate your aggression, know how to set boundaries. Then people won't fuck with you because your energy is good enough so that you won't be fucked with anymore. But to people who are like really emotionally and energetically healthy, what ends up happening is that the aggression and like being a dickhead that saved you from getting picked on and people running all over you when you were younger is now the very thing that is alienating you and making people think you're an asshole and a douchebag. And if you do attract women with that energy, typically the women that you're going to attract are going to be ones that are going to make your life really fucking shitty, because they're going to be filled with trauma, and they basically had fathers who were fucking fucking assholes to them, and so they're just trying to recreate that experience with you, and so your life is going to become very dramatic. And so even if you're getting, success sexually, you're going to be attracting women that you don't want to attract. And so as you go on in your journey of becoming a man and more masculine and more emotionally healthy and more energetically powerful and masculinely radiant, and as you keep raising your vibration to one of misery up through the ranks of jealousy, anger, irritation, contentment, joy, happiness, peace, what ends up happening is that you're going to start attracting, upon that journey, you're going to start learning that just because you're getting a certain type of success, making money in a certain job, having sex with certain women, doesn't mean that you're happy. And so then as you keep going, you're going to experience that your energy, that your focus shifts from that of which you are focusing on external results to you will start to focus on internally how things are making you feel, how your life is making you feel. And then if you're studious enough and you're paying attention enough to like self-development and stuff, you'll come across things like the divine masculine, hearing guys talk about the divine masculine. Of course, there's problems with, only being the divine masculine, and some guys say that they're divine masculine, but like they're super unintegrated and blah, blah, blah. But eventually you learn it matters how much you feel inside more than what you get outside. Of course, you want to integrate that, have a good life externally and a good inner life and inner emotional experience. But anyways, you get to the position where you want to start being divine. You want to start experiencing divine energies coursing through you, the grace of God, God's love, God's power, infinite grace, infinite joy, infinite peace, and you want to radiate that through all of your being so you can overcome the inherent suffering that is the human experience whenever you have repressed trauma in your system, which pretty much every human being does, because trauma is just defense energy and everyone feels like they need to defend themselves at some point or the other. And if you don't know how to excise that from your system, well, then your system slowly accrues all of these like defense softwares. And now imagine a computer that had so much antivirus that like it couldn't even run because you had so many antiviruses running that it was like sapping all of your bandwidth and processing power. So anyways, you get to a point to where you're like, okay, it matters more how I feel than the external results I get, but I still want external results, right? It's like I don't just want to be a monk who lives by myself and is like separate from women. Say with regards to women, if you want to attract women, and you still need to know how to lead them, even if you're trying to be more divine and feel good. And a lot of guys can't figure out how to be divine and still like more animalistically attractive. And there is a way to integrate it. And honestly, the way to integrate those energies is the ideal way to have those energies. And so what you want to do is understand what leadership and if you could call it, dominance looks like, sexually attractive dominance looks like, from a perspective of, let's call it the advanced male, or like the divine masculine experience or expression. So what it looks like is this. So a man that would be at a lower level of consciousness, who's like trying to learn how to be an asshole, to set boundaries and stuff, he's going to tell a woman like, we're dating here tonight at this time, and you're going to come, right? And some women are going to react favorably to that, and some other women are going to be like, the ones who are typically more emotionally healthy are going to be like, this is so weird, like it feels super controlling, and so you still want to be able to reflect leadership, but the way you do it at a higher level is you take your entire vibration of your being, literally visualize like a light inside of yourself, inside of like your core. Imagine like a white or a golden light, and sit there and imagine it like expanding and expanding, and it like takes up like this much space, like almost like arm's length, if not a little bit more, and it's like this like brilliant golden energy. And I want you to sit in meditation for like 10 or 15 minutes. And when you do that, eventually what you learn is that, so at a lower level of consciousness, masculinity is about being energetically penetrating, right? Like you're having sex, you penetrate with your dick. But at a higher level, masculinity, at a higher level of health and power and radiance and attractiveness and pleasure of inner experience as a man, the higher levels is containment. And so what you want to do is you want to be bringing the kingdom of heaven along with you everywhere that you go. And the way that you do that is imagining energetically that your golden white energy is expansive along with you. And so whenever you're interacting with a woman, you sit there and you're just holding this brilliant space for her to come into. Imagine it's like not the perfect analogy, but imagine it's like a brilliant bird cage, like made of like gold, and then there's like a little bird that, like, call it a bird feeder actually. It's like brilliant and made of gold. It doesn't trap the bird, it just offers an inviting place for the bird to come in and rest. And so a lot of people wouldn't understand that this is masculine, but actually holding a containment field like this, creating a kingdom of heaven on earth where you are centered in your king energy, in order and structure, and like saying what is good and what is not, and what is right and what is wrong, but not from a place of like tyrannical judgment and control and constriction, but from a place of just like divine knowing of like what is good, with like a deep integrated wisdom. You want to create a space where women can come into and they can express their feminine in a sense of dance, right? And now to some of you this may sound really esoteric, but it's not esoteric, because you are literally creating a kingdom of heaven by visualizing light that is white and gold that radiates from your whole system. Just literally visualize it in your mind that it's a bubble that is that big, and sit there and meditate on that and meditate on that and meditate on that, and eventually it will be uncomfortable at first, but eventually you will start to develop a pleasure conditioning associated with being in that energy. And then you walk around, and everywhere you walk is an attractive kingdom of heaven that a woman will want to come in and dance in and feel safe in, to express her flourishing kind of like feminine radiance. And the beautiful thing about this is, at the higher spiritual realms, you want to integrate like an unattached love in everything that you do. There's no constriction in the way that you love. And so you want to integrate this with the masculine energy by holding that containment field open, as I was talking to a client earlier today, holding the kingdom of God or the kingdom of heaven open everywhere you go and never allowing it to close. And what I mean by that is holding that divine light that you're visualizing across your body open, and never, and whenever you get jealous and whenever you get insecure, you'll feel yourself constricting. And so what you want to do is let go of that constriction, come back into the light, and let her dance freely in a space of your soft safety. So you don't want to be a simp, which is like a boy who's like supplicating after a woman, right? And then the next stage of development, and that can sometimes work, but it won't give you like the most passionate sex ever unless the woman is like super dominant, which is rare. And then the next stage of development psychologically, masculinely for a man, is to get into the space of like like aggressive boundary setting, right? Becoming the douchebag, right? The bad boy who doesn't care. And then after you get tired of like attracting women who are filled with trauma and giving your life a whole bunch of drama, you'll get to the third stage, which is the divine masculine male. And that man will hold the kingdom of heaven open. The woman will come into it, and he will penetrate her, but he penetrates her with like such grace and delicacy so that she can actually feel safe and feel like she's melting open in the energy of God that you're radiating out of your system. So I just wanted to talk about how to lead a woman with this energy. You hold intention of like what it is that you want to do. Okay, you're not like reacting to her, except you're paying attention to her emotionally, how she's responding to you. Like if she gets like tense and afraid, then like you need to give her space. If she gets bored, then you need to give her like a little excitement, you know, a little playfulness. There's a delicate art form to all this like energy play with regards to how you're creating attraction with a woman. But in essence, in order to lead and still be dominant while you're in a divine energy, therefore getting into a divine masculine energy, you hold the intention. It's like a captain of a ship. It's like he's steering in a certain direction because he wants to go in a certain direction, right? Okay, but he's also completely at ease and in peace and joy. And so in the same way, a man who is leading is like so clear with his intention. He's going in that direction. He's not swayed by like anyone's like fear or aversion or doubt about his plan, because he knows his plan, because he's very confident in where he's going as a man, which of course this takes. So as I was saying, once you get up to that top level, you want to keep your kingdom of heaven open. Stay energetically open, but your intention doesn't waver, right? So for instance, a good example would be if there was a woman and you were attracted to her, but you could tell that she was nervous and that she wasn't really ready to like go further with you. For instance, even if she said like, you know, she's been wounded and she just got out of a relationship. Now, one, like if she just got out of a relationship, don't be with her. Take it from me. Oh God. But let's just say she has like wounds from past lovers, childhood or father or whatever. She has a mistrust of men. And you still want to be with this woman. You want to like help her work through her like her fear of loving you and being open to love. Then you don't stop loving her, right? Out of consideration that she's afraid of love. What you do is you stay open with your love and completely unattached, and you give her space, and which then gives her the opportunity to come into your kingdom that has its own leadership intention, which is you wish to progress forward with the relationship. You wish to escalate, you wish to be with her sexually, you wish to enjoy her more intimately on an emotional or energetic level. And you stay open, and you can say that your intentions are just the same, and say like, you know, I'm loving you, I'm really into you, but but communicate to her complete unattachment and no expectations or obligations. And it's kind of like a kitten. It's like, with a kitten, you just want to sit there and stay relaxed. You're trying to get it to come to you, and it's on the street, and you're like, oh, it's okay, like, come here, little kitten. You could be the guy who says, come here, you fucking cat. Like, you don't want to be that fucking guy with the cat. You want to be the guy who's like just like radiantly in love and like sitting there patiently, and it's like, hey, little buddy, like, how you doing? And you want to be like that with women too. Give them the space to come into your field. Penetration is a let's call it lower chakra or lower consciousness aspect of the masculine, and the highest aspect of the masculine, the father masculine, is radiating this containment field, which I like to call the masculine kingdom of heaven, and which is attractive for women to come into. And the level of kindness and joy and peace and godliness that you experience in that does not need to rid you of sexual intent, desire to be closer, desire to have your needs met, because you learn that you can have 100% pure intention to lead the interaction however you want to lead it, while also staying completely unattached, and not contracted at all with any kind of like negative emotions come up whenever like you're not getting what you want immediately. And this is really, high spiritual fucking education shit right here. It's the classic loving without attachment, and it just adds the extra element of what that looks like in masculine form, in the example of how you would like to hold that energy of complete, radiant, unattached love while also creating a feeling of creating a recipe for sexual attraction from a woman. And that's basically how you do it. That's how you lead without being an asshole. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you would like any help with this, if you'd like any help with making yourself more attractive and coming out of this feeling that like you're unattractive and women don't look at you, and you feel insecure with yourself, and you feel like you have like a devoidance of like masculine energy, and you feel like you don't know how to produce that, either keep following my content, or if you just want to get yourself some help really fast and just say fuck waiting around and being patient for answers that might not ever come from your particular situation, reach out. I'm open to talk. I'm open to help you. You too can have whatever results you would like with women and have the internal emotional experience that you would like of your life and of your like self-concept of who you feel you are. You can enjoy that. It just requires like a certain level of like energy work and a certain conceptual understanding of what attractive masculine energy looks like and feels like at its highest levels of health and power. That's pretty much it. Reach out if you have any questions. I'm currently like taking one-on-one clients in order to help them heal their emotional wounds and develop their divine masculinity in attracting women and the dream women that they want. And then doing all the identity transformation and deep psyche transformation necessary to be ready to attract the dream woman of their choice. And also, I help men get aligned with their truest purpose, which is something that creates a very foundationally attractive framework for attracting your dream woman, which for most men, whether we're working on it now or we're working on it eventually, I mean, arguably everything that we're doing is to become the best man possible for the woman that we would like to have children with, or if at the very least have a joyous lifelong experience with, in which you create children of, let's call it like the production form, right? Like your impact on your community and your friends and your loved ones and all that. So if you're interested in all that, healing, identifying and accomplishing your purpose, and finally getting out of your rut and attracting your dream woman and becoming the man in every single fashion, form, and way in order to achieve that outcome, then let me know. This has been Jonny Wyld, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Bye-bye.